Buongiorno and welcome to my We're Thinking podcast, or MWOT for short, hosted by me, Lee Greeno, here live from the Man Cave every week. Now, today I'm speaking to the amazing Tiffany McKinna. I put an advert out a while ago about paranormal and people that had experiences. So I've got some interviews, and this is one of the first interviews with Tiffany, who said she'd like to come on the show. It's her first podcast, so she's absolutely brilliant in this, so just bear that in mind. Now, Tiffany is a modern day witch. Ooh, how interesting. And she is a fascinating character with fascinating stories about spirits and the paranormal. You are going to love this. It's such a great interview, so make sure you keep listening. Now, my way of thinking is all about us, amazing human beings that all have a story to tell. Those stories can vary massively, but with the guests I'll be interviewing, you'll always be able to take a little bit of advice or insight into how extraordinary we can all be, just like Tiffany. Remember, only 4 rules: 1, no bullshitting; 2, no judging; 3, no negativity; and 4, have fun. Make sure you listen to the previous episodes. I keep being told I should have a niche for my podcast. Well, I don't want a niche. My niche is I enjoy talking to interesting people. So unfortunately, that means I speak to everyone, ranging from bodybuilders and mindfulness experts to people that just love talking on podcasts and have an interesting story about some of the difficult situations they've been in. And they're all amazing, which is the main thing. Remember, the podcast stream on the usual platforms. Just put My Way Thinking Podcast. We're on Spotify, iTunes. You can also watch if you want to see this beautiful greying beard and little baby Yoda over there. And that's it. If you want to get involved, then you can email me, or you think you know a good guest, just email me, mwotpodcast@aol.com. Anyway, enough of me gassing on. You want to hear this interview with Tiffany because it's fantastic. So let's get on with it. This is my interview with the brilliant Tiffany McKinna. Okay, so welcome to My Way of Thinking. And today I have a very special guest. It is the one and only Tiffany McKinna. All the way from Iowa.
Yeah.
How are you? Okay?
Oh, I'm good. I'm so stoked to be here.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. Well, you just said you're a bit nervous. Don't be nervous. It's just a chat.
Just a chat.
And once you've done this one, once you get the initial one, that's it now. You'll be like, on all the groups, does anyone want me as a guest?
I'm an old hat at it now. I did one.
What I love, I just love talking to people around the world, because that's the thing now with the pandemic. We can use Zoom. As long as you've got even a phone, you can get Zoom on. And we can talk to people thousands of miles away. It's great, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah, it's very cool.
It's a bit strange, but it is cool. Now, what I always do is when I first talk to people not from the UK, from other countries, I'll talk to them a bit about where they are, because I'm interested in facts and traveling and stuff like that. Now, I've had loads of people from the US, but I've not had Iowa yet. So I was interested to look up some, I was interested to look up some facts. So I'll tell you these facts, and then you tell me if it's complete bullshit or whether it's actually true. Okay, now this is the first one. Iowa is where Ozzy Osbourne had his infamous bat incident. On January 1982, a 17-year-old fan threw a bat on stage at a Black Sabbath concert, and Ozzy, thinking it was fake, picked it up and started to eat it. When he realised it was real, he had to go to rabies for shots immediately after the show. Did you know that happened in Iowa?
That happened in Iowa?
Yeah, it happened in Iowa.
That's awesome. Why don't I hear more about that?
Yeah.
I feel like I should hear about that.
I can't believe.
That surprised me that it happened in Iowa. Yeah, okay.
So you didn't know that one. Okay, that's a good one then. So but now you can, when you have people around, you can say, look, guess what I found out today? Right, now this is a good one because this interests me, meditation. So you'd expect southeast Iowa to be a hub. You wouldn't expect southeast Iowa to be a hub for transcendental meditation, but it is. Marisha Mahesh, yoga founder of the Mahesh School of Management, and purchased the campus of the bankrupt Parson College in Fairfield, Iowa, the following year. And the Golden Domes, which no doubt you nod in your head, one of them are used as a meditation en masse. So they do this big, massive meditation thing. Do you know about that?
The Maharishis actually. The Maharishis in Fairfield. They have their own school and everything. We used to play those kids. I went to Keokuk High School, and they were always, you got to understand, small town Iowa, we didn't you're kind of insulated there, and everybody thought like that these kids were so bizarre because of the way they would meditate. They would sit and they would meditate before their games, and sometimes they would start hopping on their butts, like they were flying. And everybody was just like, what the fuck is with it? But it is you nailed it on the head. Southeast Iowa is not the place that you would expect a group like the Maharishi. I don't know. I can't think of, maybe you can think of an equivalent over there in the UK, but it's conservative, Christian, small town, farming community, patriotic, Republican. That's that area, So these people
are they in there, and people sort of walk past and they're like, oh, look at them over there. It's those lot. Do people look at it like a cult?
Oh, absolutely. Can I use the F-bomb?
Yeah, of course you can, yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
See, I like meditation, but that sounds a bit weird to me, especially when you got kids. I think meditation, mindfulness, as you get older, especially when you got stresses, if you want to do something, or yoga, things like that, fine. But when you've got all-encompassing families, it's like, that's a bit strange.
Yeah, people really they did not like it. They were put off. They were put off. But they were more put off by the weirdos in their own hometown. So they were more that bothered them more. As long as they stayed in Fairfield, it was okay.
Okay. Right, okay, this is the next one. So Iowa is somewhat unlikely mecca for Olympic gymnasts. Thanks to a world-renowned Chow's Gymnastics and Dance Institute in West Des Moines, because coach Lang Chow has 2 Olympic gold medals under his belt, and he moved in Sean Johnson and Gabby Douglas, other hopefuls for the Olympics. They've moved to Des Moines in droves just to train with him, because currently he's one of the best. He's supposed to be one of the best. He currently has 3 international elite gymnasts on his roster. Do you know about this guy?
I don't know about this guy, but it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Iowa, again, very, very red, white, and blue, very red-blooded American, go, 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 rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
We're football country. We've got 3 different major universities. We've got the University of Iowa is the big one. We're big about athletics here. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
I think when I've talked to sports people before, and they've got quite a lot of dedication. But does it get quite annoying when you're in America, especially if you're pushed into a sport, or your mum and your dad are saying you must do this and you must do that? How's that?
Oh God, I couldn't speak for any of the kids who grew up like that, because a lot of them, if they're unhappy, they masked it very well. It was a little frustrating for me growing up that way, because the things I were into weren't valued so much, or at least it felt like, it felt like maybe if I had been a cheerleader, or maybe if I had been on the basketball team, dad would have made an effort to show up, or mom would have, but instead I was in plays. Okay. Well, if we got time, honey, we can come and see the play. All right. So it just, as an artsy kid, and more of a sensitive kind of person, it can be, you can feel very overlooked.
No, I totally understand that.
But there's also meccas in Iowa too. There's little pockets around the state where you can find people who are a little more, I don't know, out there, if you will. So Iowa City is a big one of.
Yeah, because that's the thing, and I think you get it in a lot of schools where you've got to be in the in crowd, and if you're not in the in crowd, no one cares, and you're a bit weird. I think it's better over here in the UK. It's better than it's ever been, but I think kids are always going to be a bit like that, aren't they? They're always going to be a bit, if you're different, they don't embrace that. I think we embrace it when we're older, but when you're kids, it's like, they're weird. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right then, now this is the last one. And this is a really interesting one. So civil rights, Iowa has always been ahead of the curve. Married women.
That blows my mind.
Yeah. Well,
okay, go on.
Okay, because you can tell me the opposite in a minute. But married women received property rights in 1851. And in 1868, the Iowa Supreme Court ruled women should be allowed to practice law. The state was also way ahead of school segregation. The Supreme Court ruled that separate but equal schools were unlawful, and also the Midwestern state, even though it's conservative, the Iowa Supreme Court was a leader in gay marriage in 2009 when it declared that that forbidding same-sex marriage was unconstitutional, and it was the third state to do so behind Massachusetts and Connecticut. What about that?
We had to fight for that. We had to fight tooth and fucking nail for that. They weren't going to give us that. They weren't going to fucking give us that. We fought tooth and nail for that shit. Yeah, the reason they voted was because we put the pressure on them to do that. They wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. See, you don't hear about that on the internet. All you hear is they're great, you know, they've opened their minds. But what you don't see is actually behind it is a force of people, you know, that have pushed it.
We pushed that. Oh yeah, we pushed. They weren't going to just give us that. There's always been like this struggle for the soul of Iowa. I feel like it's pulled in this. On one hand, it's very traditional, and on the other hand, there's this undercurrent of progressivism. You know, like you almost wouldn't expect it, but we're very vocal. Iowa progressives are very vocal, but we're still very much the minority.
Okay.
You know, and it's interesting to know that it wasn't always that case around the turn of the 20th century. It sounds like we were making some great strides, but you know, I wanted to say, and then we stopped, you know, like. So
that surprised you then? I suppose, do you think it's down to people not wanting to change sort of old governments, committees, however you work over there, being stuck in the mud, not wanting to change and move with the times? Do you think a lot of it's that?
I do. I mean, I think it's just easier to want to believe. It's easier to want to believe than to actually look at what's going on. Like, they don't talk about that, but the Midwest is also a huge hub for the KKK. The Ku Klux Klan got started in Indiana, and Iowa's right there next to Indiana. You know, like we're right there in that pocket of. There's a lot of white supremacist history, especially in Southeast Iowa, where I grew up.
Yeah.
And no, they don't want to talk about that. They only want to say, like, look, back in 18, you know, I know the University of Iowa was the first major university to incorporate women. That's fantastic. It was probably only white women.
Yeah. And that's probably why they've put it on here, because it looks good. But
it looks good. They're not going to write, you know, asterisk, it was only white women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
what amazes me about America is you've got all these different states. You can have one state next to another state, and they can be miles apart. One can be very racist. One could be very left. You know what I mean? You've got all these states. They're just so different, can't they? Be some crazy.
Yeah. It's almost amazing that we speak the same language and have the same currency. Like is it quite frustrating for you sometimes, or because people have such strong beliefs, and I think, why do you have to have one strong belief? Why can't you believe in different things and everybody get along? But I know that's a bit cheesy. I know it, and I have to check myself too. Like, I have to make sure I'm not just, you know, drilling in or picking. Like, I'm very willing to believe something negative about, you know, somebody in a political party that I don't like. I don't think I need to express. You've been listening, you know where I fall on the divide, you know.
Yeah.
But I have to I'm so willing to think oh yeah, of course that senator did that awful thing. Look at the party they're a member of. Look, of course they did that terrible thing. Look what they're, you know what I mean? And it's oh yeah, we really are. I don't want to say divided, but there's a battle. There's a battle for the soul of the nation going on right now.
Yeah, which is a shame. We get a lot of it over here being divided, and a lot of it is through the media. The media can be bastards at times. They can really split, and a lot of it, I know old Mr. Trump used to say fake news, but over here, when some people come out with it and they're pushing it, the media, it's terrible.
You just pull the plugs out. There's no holds stopped. I'm not. I don't mean to judge, but I did. I looked a little bit into British tabloids, and I was. It was that whole Meghan Markle debacle. Wherever you fall on that.
God.
I did look into that a bit, and I was like, Jesus, these people aren't fucking around, man. They're pulling all the fucking plugs.
I know. It makes
British tabloids.
Depending on what you feel about
they'll cut in.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for you looking over and thinking, look, we think we're bad. Look at the UK. I mean, the royals over here, some people don't like the royals, some people do. So, I mean, I love the Queen. The others are a bit, I can give or take, and some of them, But I think the big thing about Harry and Meghan when they left is they said they wanted to get out of the limelight. And then they go over and go fucking Oprah. It's not,
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, so, I can definitely understand. It's fucking.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And now he's never been on telly so much. I totally understand if they're under pressure as a royal.
Gotta work.
Yeah.
Work now. He's just Harry now.
Yeah, well, he can get a fucking job in a factory somewhere. He doesn't have to be on Oprah.
Right. Well, and it's what did we expect? Did we expect someone? Did we expect he was going to go to fucking Jack in the Box or McDonald's or you know what I'm saying? He was never. He wasn't conditioned for that.
Yeah. So. But yeah, it is. It is an interesting one, but we're not perfect over in the UK. Far from it, and especially with COVID, you know what COVID's been like. You've got people slagging off the government. It's just horrendous, like you say. It's where it'll end, I don't know. But all I know over here is we are coming out of lockdown, and I'm just grateful for that at the minute. What's the situation like with you guys?
It's getting better. The Iowa governor just made mask mandates illegal. All right. So the mask, so you can't mandate people to wear masks over here. However, it's also now going to be illegal to require what they're calling vaccination passports.
Right.
So I don't fucking know. You know what I think is going to happen with COVID? I'm telling you what I think is going to happen over here, at least in my little state of Iowa. So, the vaccinations are a lot more available now. I suspect we're going to see an initial drop an initial drop in rates. And then everybody who's going to get vaccinated, because there's a substantial percentage of people who are not, they've said they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So once everybody who's planning on getting the vaccination, including myself, gets it, then they're initially going to go down, and then we're going to see them go back up again. Yeah,
that's the worry, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Yeah.
So you're just taking it. You're
No, it's frustrating.
You're not going to tell if the person not wearing a mask is vaccinated or not. In Iowa, probably not.
It's frustrating because, I've had my first vaccine, and we've had a massive rollout here. And you do get the odd people saying, I don't believe in it. Well, I said, if the Queen's had it, it's good enough. If it's good enough for the Queen, it's good enough for me.
Sure.
I think the big thing is when we're told you can't go on holiday unless you've had a vaccine, or now people are going to moan and say, well, I've not been vaccinated. Well, that's fine. If you don't want to be vaccinated, that's fine. But you are going to have to pay the price, and you won't have the freedom as everyone else. Because I definitely think, yes, you can choose, but there's going to be restrictions in place.
Yeah, no, they're trying to wipe away all no restrict. Just on your honor. It's 100% on your honor. Here in Iowa, it's on your honor.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be that way all across the country.
Yeah, which, come on. That's, you know,
on your honor.
That's not
good. That's the nicest way I can put it.
Yeah. And I think the frustrating thing is for everybody that's been impacted by this is, over here in the UK, we did the lockdown, we did what they asked us, we wore masks, you know, it came down. So even though we really didn't want to, we did it, we put the work in. But what for? If it goes back up again, you think, come on, it's so frustrating. But anyway.
Yeah, it is. It is.
that's me ranting. Anyway, great to meet you, Tiffany. Now, we'll talk about how we connected was on Facebook, because I'm always looking for guests. I've had so many different people on here from different walks of life. And I put on a post on a friend of mine that runs a post to do with creepy, haunted, anything to do with that. A lot of people interested in that. It's always interested me. And I thought, I'll see if someone comes, I'll see if someone's got a story to tell. And you came back and said, yeah, I've got, quite a bit to tell. So I thought, whoa, that's interesting. So now tell us a little bit about, let's not get to that yet. Tell us about growing up. And I always think about, because you talk about paranormal and witchcraft and things like that, but I'm always interested, was that an early spark when you were in school and thinking, or was it something that happened later on in life? Tell us about that.
I can't wait to tell you. So technically, I was raised to be a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So when I started out my life, it was just my biological mom, me, and my biological brother, Sean. And we were just like this triad. We were like the three. And somehow mom got into Jehovah's Witness religion. Okay, whatever. Funny thing you got to know about Jehovah's Witness. They don't really believe in heaven in the way one would think of.
Yeah.
In their theology, for those of the viewers who don't know, might not know, in their theology, only 144,000 of their members are going to be holy enough to actually ascend to heaven when they die.
Yeah.
Everybody else, and this includes them, Jehovah's Witnesses, the witnesses themselves, everybody else, when you die, you go dead in your grave. They essentially don't believe in a soul. They only really believe in bodily resurrection. That's it.
Yeah.
So you'll be dead in your grave until the paradise comes. And what the paradise is, it's a utopia. Ugh, I've read enough dystopian literature, Anyway, it's a utopia. It's literally depicted in artwork with people of all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, coming together, sitting in this beautiful, like garden-like setting. There's people petting goldfish. I'm serious.
You sold it to me. You sold it.
Yeah, you sold it. Yeah, for right. Like you put your finger in there, the goldfish come up and pet. Like there's a literal lion cuddling with a literal lamb.
Yeah.
Like the world just turns into this big, beautiful garden/petting zoo for all of eternity. It never ends. So the reason this is valid is the belief, then the logical conclusion they have is that there are no spirits, there are no disembodied souls, they simply do not exist. You are not hearing the voice of your grandmother, you are not communicating with your ancestors. Demons.
Yeah.
They're demons. End of discussion. I'm sorry, did you think your heart felt warm when you saw a butterfly and remembered your grandmother? Demon. Like, That's it. So I don't know what possessed my mom, but she decided one day, having this as her, that she chose this, okay? She wasn't raised witness. She chose to be a witness.
Yeah.
This whole background, decides one day she's bored off her ass. She's got her buddy Brenda sitting there. She decides one day, bored off her ass, she's going to go get a Ouija board.
Oh, okay.
That's what she does.
So this was this when she was a Jehovah's Witness?
Yes.
Are they allowed to do that then?
No.
Right, so she was being naughty.
She could have been disfellowshipped for this.
Oh, right. Okay.
Fucking fellowshipped. Yes, this is bad. This is her talking to literal. In their mind, she's getting aboard to go talk to demons.
Okay.
So we kept this shit under wraps. What I'm getting at is there's this concept of natural witches. Right. You don't have to study. You don't even have to know anything about witchcraft to be a witch. Like you could be a witch, my dude. Like there's this idea that like some people are just natural witches. And I think that's my family part of what was going on here, because she just couldn't keep her hand out of the cookie jar.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. It was a natural thing. And that's what interests me about speaking to you, because some people, I suppose movies and things like that talk about a witch and this is a witch, whereas it's a lot more than that. It's more about having something inside you that's spirit. Well, that's what you can tell us about. So she got the Ouija board. Go on.
So she gets a Ouija board. She's playing around with it. She's asking if she's trying to contact my dad. My father died when I was 4 in a bad, brutal car accident. Yeah. And, I mean, it seems to be working. You know, she'll ask him to touch me and I'll feel cold on my hands. She'll ask him to manipulate static on the television. That's another trick. I don't know how she knew where to do this, but yeah, that's the common trick nowadays. They'll tell you, put the channel on static and ask them to manipulate the static. They'll do it. Ask if they can bang, boom, boom, boom. But you got to give them time. They don't have a body, remember? So it takes them a minute. And the more you believe, I know it sounds silly, but the more you believe, that becomes their body. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, so like they get their power and their sustenance and their form from emotions. So if you believe they can do it, that gives them the literal power to go boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I think my mom got bored with the Milton Bradley. Something inside her said, hey, I bet I could make one of these.
Yeah.
She took down a mirror, grabbed a tube of lipstick, wrote out the alphabet. Hello, goodbye. Da, 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 da. We're all still Jehovah's Witnesses, mind you. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, she wasn't baptized into the church yet, so she technically couldn't have been disfellowshipped, I suppose. But it's still like, this is really, really fucking bad. Yeah. So she decides that I think I can make one of these myself. Yeah. And I watch her do it. 9-year-old little me watch her do it. And by God, it fucking worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ever since then.
So do you think that it's not so much about the material object, it's more about the person?
It's about the intent. It's about the intent. If any of your viewers or any listeners or any of your fans are familiar with the game Charlie Charlie.
Oh, right, okay.
They didn't have Charlie Charlie when I was in high school. I graduated high school in 2004.
Okay.
So I didn't know anything about this game. But yeah, like this, what I was doing, making little spirit boards I was doing it on pieces of notebook paper by the time I was in high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like there's this game, Charlie Charlie, it's very similar. And you just take a piece of notebook paper, make a 4 square, write yes, no, balance 2 pencils on it. And you're supposed to invoke this ghost, the titular Charlie, ask it a question, and then wait for the sticks to move or wait for the pencils to move. So I probably, if I'm being a good witch, I need to go out and present the disclaimer. If you are thinking about doing anything like this, the easiest way to keep yourself safe is just make an unbroken circle of salt around whatever you're using. You know, whether you make it, and don't make sure you don't bump it or break it. Or if you know any like protective symbols, like draw a little, just take the extra mile to protect yourself.
I'm not getting involved in any of that business.
See, there you go. That's also, there's my little disclaimer, my little bit of advice. Anybody
just covering yourself.
Notebook paper Ouija boards. I can do that.
So Tiffany, this interests me. So because you're young and you're seeing your mum do this,
Yeah.
It's part of you, because if you were older and someone says and you've never done it before and someone says it's always your board, you turn around and say, oh, what a load of rubbish, what a load of bollocks, blah, blah, blah. But because you were a kid seeing this, you've almost grown up with it. It's part of your life. You don't see it as strange. Would that be right?
It's part of my memories. I knew it was strange.
Yeah.
I knew not everybody did it. I knew we weren't supposed to be doing it because we attended the Kingdom Hall. I also knew Mom had other interests. Like she got into this psychic that she wouldn't let us see. I don't know why she drew the line at that, but she never brought a deck of tarot cards into the house. She never brought a crystal into the house, so much as a crystal into the house, which, thinking back, that warning I just gave you, everybody, was dumb.
Yeah.
You're working with spirits, bring things in to protect you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she was also doing psychics and things. And the ironic thing is, even though I never saw her with tarot cards or with a psychic, that's actually where I'm at right now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Like I don't do the Ouija board stuff anymore. I do my tarot cards. I learned you can talk to spirits through tarot cards. Right, and that's a way safer, way more productive method.
Yeah, right. So when did it come to a head then? Did it come to a head? I guess you're not a Jehovah's Witness anymore. Oh no, yeah. What did she get found out, or what happened? No.
She no.
Yeah.
She never got found out, because like a good witch, you don't slip your shit. Like a good witch, you hide that shit. You put on the mask. You put on the mask.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, she masked like a motherfucker. But I mean,
is that the same with like friends and people like that? No one would know. Or is
probably, yeah, unless they were very close to her, unless they were close and she wanted them to know.
Yeah. Whereas, are you different in that sense? You like people to know. You're honest about what you do and who you are.
Yes, 100. Exactly. You got it. Yep.
Yeah. Brilliant. So tell us a bit about, so your mum's doing that. You're growing up. When did you start thinking, right, I'm going to do this myself and get involved in it myself?
I think, okay. I'm glad I was thinking. I was thinking about all of this. This is good. So what I believe happened, so my mom's always been my birth mom anyway. She's always been, it's hard for her to keep her life in track at times. It's been tricky for her to keep her life in track. So she gets this hair up her butt that we're going to move, because I actually wasn't born in Iowa. I was born in Pennsylvania.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's where that's where our triad was originally from.
Okay.
She gets this wild hair up her ass that we need to move to Iowa.
Yeah.
Have you heard that one before?
No, I haven't. That's why I'm smiling.
Cool. That's a popular one in America. Yeah, she gets this wild hair up her ass that we need to go to Iowa. Okay. And I don't know why. Maybe somebody was breathing down her back. Who knows? So we pack up what little shit we have. We drive out to Iowa. She says, hey, we're there for about a week. We're living with her grandmother, so my great-grandmother. She says, hey, I got to go get some of our stuff. I got to drive back to Pennsylvania. I'll be back in a week. She's gone for like 5 years.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. We've worked through it. Spoiler alert, we have worked through it. But yeah, so I was just kind of left alone, and I had nothing. I had no direction for a couple of years. Well, then I met a friend when I was about 12, 13 years old. I met a friend.
Yeah.
And this friend, she was very, very unique. Her and her mom belonged to this thing that was called a coven.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that? Oh, it's a group of witches, and we get together and we learn witchcraft. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could join, but you got to have parents' permission, and there's no way, that was going to happen. So what she would do instead is she would, all the things that weren't oath bound, as they called it in the coven, so the secret stuff, everything that wasn't oath bound, she would come and teach me.
Oh, right. Okay.
So she would teach me like the blue ball trick where you learn how to manipulate energy, and she would teach me basic spell structure, and she taught me how to cast a magic circle. And any of your fans out there who are familiar with Wicca probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So she, I was getting all of this from her, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to show her something back. I wanted to show her something back. And I said, hey, have you ever heard, I said, let's make a Ouija board. Yeah. And when she said, what's that? I fucking lit up.
Yeah.
I was like, bitch, you think you're the witch. Just wait.
Yeah.
Get that mirror, go into your mom's room, get her reddest fucking lipstick, find something circular that can swoop around, and I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
And so that's when I felt like that was the first time I had ever done that on my own.
Right. Okay.
And that I have to say that night, I bet she'll still have to call her up and be like, girl, do you remember that sleepover when we made the movie? You remember that?
Would you say that's what kicked you off? Was it like amazing and your friend was like, wow, and did it go really well?
It went really well. Yeah, it wasn't spooky or anything. Like, I just intuitively seemed to know how to keep safe. I just kind of knew. There was one time when I didn't trust my intuition on this, and it fucked with me, and I'll tell you about that if you'd like to hear about it.
Yeah, tell us, yeah.
I will. A warning story, always trust your intuition.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time, I just instinctively knew, how to keep safe. Okay. And one of the ways you do that is you make the spirit tell you goodbye. Okay. People don't understand that when they're dealing with boards and they walk away from the session and then they're haunted. Like they didn't say goodbye at all, or they moved the planchette themselves.
Right. Okay.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. If you want the spirit to leave, you have to tell them goodbye, and they have to go down and excuse themselves. Yeah. And they have to make sure they do it all the way to the end of the E, because sometimes they'll try to slip off the board and not finish it. Spirits are tricky. Yeah, they're sneaky. They're sneaky. Yeah. There's all kinds of, I say there's not like rules, but there are rules. It's the fairies rules, right? Because fairies and spirits are actually interconnected. Like they're kind of one and the same. So you can die a human and become one of the fae in another life. That's not unheard of, like, at all. So you have to know their rules, basically.
Yeah.
And but so it went very, very well. And that's when I realized, oh wow, like I could maybe do this. Like this could be something I am. Maybe I really am, a witch.
Yeah. And
I just kind of kept reading get my little books on Wicca, because by the time I was 14, Wendy, birth mom, she had been gone about 3 years by now, and living with the septuagenarians, almost octogenarians, we were a 12 and a 9-year-old kid. Like we were bound to come to the attention of CPS, and we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And fortunately for us, this family who we had met through great grandma's church, because great grandma wasn't a witch. She wasn't a Jehovah's Witness either. She's a member of she's a good run of the mill Protestant, nothing too zany, nothing too wild, just go to church, take a communion, listen to the preacher, go home, you're done. So we had met this family. They were called the Bests, right? Brenda and Terry Best, and they had 2 little girls of their own. And I don't know, I can't tell you how we clicked. I can't explain it to you.
Yeah.
Other than they just felt this kinship, and they wanted to help Wilma, the elderly member of the church. They wanted to help Wilma, she's got these kids. Why don't we take them?
Yeah.
And we just fell in love. And then when we got put in foster care, my brother and I got put in foster care. They became our foster family, and then they became our adopted family.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got two families. I got 2 moms here. I got Wendy and Brenda. Yeah. And I tend to I'll switch seamlessly in between them.
Yeah.
And forgetting that, sometimes people like to know, like some people say like, who's your real mom? And I'm like, I don't play it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, birth mom. Who's your real mom? Well, motherfucker, who do you think? No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but you'll always get people that judge. I suppose what interests me is obviously you're going through this. It's quite a turbulent thing when you're a young kid. But I suppose
so all this magic, and then in the background, all this trauma.
Yeah, so it's almost like being a witch and doing these things. That was your safe place. You know, as some people will have sport or art, you had this thing that, regardless of where you were and what was going wrong, you always had this little thing inside.
Yes, you nailed it, my guy. Thank you. I never thought of it like that. You nailed it.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about, so you said it went wrong or you had an intuition. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, the time it went wrong? So spirits are tricky, okay?
Okay.
They're very tricky, especially if they may not have been human. It's very rare that you'll find a spirit that hasn't been human before. It's just the cycle of reincarnation. Like, I tell people there's no such thing really, honestly, as a demon. It's just angry spirits, you know? And a spirit can make you think whatever it wants. Like, it could have just been the guy down the street who died in a car wreck. But if he's dead and he's bored and he wants you to think he's the devil because it's funny to him to watch you be frightened, he'll make you think that's what he is, you know? They can do that. They're masters of manipulation. So I was out at my grandma's house. So I guess technically my adoptive grandma. Yeah. Because I'm Tiffany Best now at this point. So I'm sitting down on Grandma Sandy's patio, and I'm supposed to be doing homework, but I'm kind of bored. So I just whip up one of my little notebook Ouija boards, right? And I put a special kind of pentagram on there. It starts at the bottom left, and goes up, and you do it that way, and then counterclockwise circle around it. Ooh, there's my protective pentagram. I had a nice big chunk of tiger's eye. Put that some bitch right on there. Okay, tiger's eye is very protective stone.
What's tiger's eye?
It's a really pretty like gemstone. Right. Yeah, if you can get your hands on tiger's eye, that is one of the best spiritual protective that I can think of. And I mean, this story will prove it, because that spirit wanted that fucking thing off of that board. Yeah. It wanted it off of that board. I'm sitting there. I've got my protective emblems on there, my stone and my star. And I'm talking to this spirit, and it seems like just a normal run-of-the-mill spirit, you know, just out in the countryside floating around and doing whatever the fuck it wants. And I noticed something. So I'm using like a little ring, you know, for the planchette or the indicator. And I notice it keeps moving, pushing my stone, like it's trying to push the stone off the paper. Yeah. I thought, oh, well, first I was like, well, that's fucking scary. Then I thought, no. It probably just can't talk with the stone on there. Okay, I'll move the stone. Well, then we're talking again, and it starts trying to rub out my pentagram. Like it's going across my pentagram, like it's trying to rub it out. Yeah. And I'm like, no. I tell it, no, buddy, I'm not going to erase that. And this is what people really need to watch out for. If this happens, end the session immediately. It started going in a circle, little circles first, tiny little circles, and then bigger, yeah, bigger, until it was taking up the entire fucking page. And that's when I said, okay, goodbye. And it was pissed. Like it went down to goodbye, and it just zipped it right across. Yeah. But it didn't zip it across all the way. Okay. Right? It didn't go, it zipped to the end of the Y, and then it flew off the paper. Yeah. Right? So I thought, okay, it must be done. It said goodbye. It must be done. And I got up because I was spooked. I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. Okay, I was spooked. I'm like, why is it acting like this way? I go inside. I all of a sudden, I'm fucking exhausted. Out of nowhere, I'm exhausted. Yeah. And I collapse onto the recliner, and I close my eyes, and I have a vision. Yeah. And in this vision, there is a man. He's like a short, muscular, almost naked man. He's like kind of balding, but he's got black tufts of hair on the sides of his head. And he's in some underground realm. I don't want to say it's hell, but he's somewhere underground.
Jesus.
And all of a sudden he starts moving up. It's like the space around him has become like some sort of subterranean elevator.
Yeah.
And it is skyrocketing him up. And he's going so fast, I can see like the skin, like the pole, you know, like you see in cartoons. I can see that. And then all of a sudden, this subterranean elevator cart made of dirt and grass pops up to the surface and the guy falls out. And then I hear this deep guttural voice. I'll never forget what it fucking said. This deep guttural voice said to me, "What is it that you see when you see with your pretty little eyes?" And then everything went black.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. This is a warning right here.
Jesus.
This is a warning. Never let anything do this again.
Yeah.
You know, like
so for me, what is it? So you're talking to spirits, okay, and you say you've got to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because some spirits can be nasty, I suppose. How can they affect you? Can they stay around? Can they ruin your life? Can they kill you? What can they do when you get, you know, you don't protect yourself? Why is it so dangerous?
When you're haunted, yeah. Why is it dangerous? Because they fuck with you psychologically.
Right.
That's really the most they can do. A spirit only has as much power as that you give it. You know, so they can't really kill you, so to speak. They can. The worst I've had done is I've had a spirit choke me.
Right, Jesus.
That scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I'll tell you. I actually wrote about that. Yeah.
Oh God.
That about put me off for a long time. I had a spirit choke me. But I told it, "Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
Jesus.
Get off me." And it let go.
So what you're doing then, Tiffany, do you think you've got to be very, you've got to be very with it. Your mind has got to be very good, strong, robust. You can't have issues from the past. You've got to be quite on point. Do you know what I mean?
You have to be grounded.
Yeah.
You have to be grounded. I wouldn't say you have to be fearless, because if you had to be fearless, the work would never get done. Most people leave the craft after they've had their first. Everybody, if you join the craft, you will, without the shadow of a doubt, encounter a troublesome, frightening spirit, because that is your test.
Yeah,
that is your test.
Yeah,
and that's when a lot of people leave. Is they encounter that first nasty, and they don't want any more to do with it. Yeah.
And do you have encounters with spirits which are beautiful, which are, you know, life altering and
gods? I've spoken to the goddess. I've seen. Yeah. I sound like a crazy person, but yeah. Oh my fucking God! But more beautiful than I've had frightening.
Yeah.
More beautiful than yeah.
Do people reach out to? Do people reach out to you? No.
No. People think I'm crazy. They don't. I've tried to talk.
We're all crazy.
I've tried to talk to other witches. I've been like, I've encountered the star goddess, like face to face. It was like, let me put it in scientific terms, because I do love scientific terms.
Yeah.
I don't think science and magic cancel each other out in the slightest. Scientific terms, it felt like a like sleep paralysis, but except it was fucking magical.
Okay.
So when most people, and because I've experienced scary, that's when the spirit was choking me, right? That was the scary sleep paralysis I felt. Most people only talk about that. You can also experience the divine in those moments. And I was blessed enough to have experienced the divine in a moment. It's a long story. If you want me to go into it, I can.
You've got that many stories. We can't fit them all in.
I've got a lot.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We can definitely get you back on. Don't worry.
Sure.
You can't.
But yeah, I've met you. Yeah, I've had some beautiful experiences. Some experiences that made me say, yes, the gods are real. Yes, this is real. There's somebody out there listening, and who cares? It's okay.
So some people will be watching this, they'll say, oh, what a load of rubbish. Some people will say, that's interesting. Some people like me, I'm always curious. Curious. I know how crazy life can be. Tell us, so some people think is there life after death? That's the biggie, isn't it? Is there? So what you're saying, without doubt, there is something, your spirit will go to another place. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And does that make you, so you're not scared of dying at all, or is it something you do worry about?
Oh, of course I am. We're all scared of dying. I still have moments of doubt. As I have a very logical mind. I can't help it. It's like you could have a vision of the entire Greek pantheon and all their monsters and all their angels, and you'll still be like, fuck, was that real? That's just being human. Yeah, that's just being human. But if I had to say lean one way or the other, I would look, and I know this is a lot. People put a lot of hope and faith in this kind of thing. And if it helps anybody out there from what I've experienced, yes, there is more. This life is not the end. And it's not like Jehovah's Witnesses. You're not just going to die and go in your grave until God decides you're good enough to come back.
That bullshit, yeah. I know, they're the real crazy bastards. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I lost my mum, God bless her, quite a few years ago now. And when I lost her, we were very close, and a few things happened. I've not really touched on it or talked about it before. But those things that happened, part of my brain was saying, wow, that's weird. That's my mum. But the logical side of my brain was saying, don't be an idiot. And I think that's the problem, is your brain fights to say, you're talking shit. That's logical. It just happened, there just happened. That branch dropped on that place just because it dropped. That bag was floating around because it was. Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely. And that will never go away. That will never go away. You just simply make a choice in that instance. Which voice are you going to follow? Which one are you going to ignore? And most people are taught, ignore the intuitive voice, listen to the rational. Magic starts when you listen to the intuitive voice.
And do you believe in that? So when you lose someone quite close, sometimes things can happen. And it's their way of saying, I'm okay or I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm here for you. Absolutely. Yeah. I feel my dad and my grandma every day. Every day. Yeah. They're always there.
So do you just do it on a regular thing now, Tiffany, or is it something you just do at a certain time? How do you go about it now, the way you work it?
I'm actually working on opening my channels. Right. So like they talk to me, particularly my ancestors, because they're really the only ones I'll let in. You know what I mean? Like if another spirit needs to talk to me, they can go through my ancestors. Okay. My ancestors will filter them out and keep me safe. Just this morning, Lee, as I was putting on my makeup, I was starting to panic because the color was wrong. And it was like my grandmother's voice. I was literally channeling her words. And I was saying to myself, it's okay. Just keep blending. You'll be fine. And it's like, you know what I mean? She was big onto beauty, and she's sitting here giving me beauty tips, and I'm just spewing them out as if, so if you ever do that, or any of your listeners or ever do that.
Oh, it happens without a doubt. So is it just,
might not be you.
Yeah, but your logical brain doesn't even think of that. Is it so? Do you just think it's something you just live with, and you know, I mean, you say, I think you've got a young family, haven't you? Or you've got a family?
Yeah, I'm married and I got 2 little guys.
So is it something you'll bring to them, or is it something
Yes.
yeah. And why do you think that's important?
Well, I love tradition. As much as I rail against certain traditionalists in politics, I probably rail against them so much because I secretly love tradition. And it's wanting to pass down. I had this idea in my head. Oh, I wanted a little girl. I need a little girl to be witchy. Hell no. You know, my little 6-year-old boy, my little Devin, oh my gosh, he calls himself, well, first he was Magic 2 and I was Magic 1. But now he says I'm Magic 2 because I'm on a higher level than him. I said, okay. So I'm Magic 2, he's Magic 1. And I showed him, he's got a little stick for a wand. Yeah. And I keep it up for him except when he asks for it. And I take it down, I show him how to anoint it. And one of the reasons also, not just be for like, oh, narcissistic, I passed on my shit. Yeah. Also, one of the reasons I want to get started early with him is because a lot of the other thing that turns people off from witchcraft is they have such high expectations. They think it's going to be like fucking Harry Potter. And when it's not.
You mean it's not like Harry Potter?
No. So if you want to
well, I wouldn't have even bothered with this interview then.
Yeah. Best joke I ever heard from an elder in the witch community. He's like, listen, easiest way to make a broom fly, pack that bitch in a suitcase and put it on an airplane, okay? We don't have time for this. You know, like, it's, you know. So, yeah, a lot of people but they do. They'd be surprised, you know, or you'd be surprised at how many people just, they want the woo factor. That's what it is. People want the woo factor.
Yeah, of course they do. And it sort of devalues it a little bit, doesn't it? People don't really believe. They've not done the groundwork. They don't really believe. It's just a trend or something different to try. Whereas, you know, it's part of your life. It's something that's been part of your life all through it. And it'll always be with you. But yeah, I bet you get a lot of people just saying, yeah, oh, I'll give that a go. It's not giving it a go. It's more than that.
It is. And it's subtler. It's subtler. So like I had to explain it to a kid way back in high school one time. He saw me looking up stuff. He's like, does that work? And I'm like, yeah, it works, but it doesn't work the way you think it's going to work. He's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, so let's say you do a spell for like $200 million. I want $200 million. Okay. You know?
Yeah.
But let's say maybe you do like in your heart, you're like, I do kind of need money. So you might go out and find $20 on the ground, you know, or somebody might call you and be like, hey, you know, could you use $100 or something? Like, you know, you got to keep your anticipations or your expectations, in line, because it's not supernatural. It's natural. You're not. Magic is a force, like gravity is a force, and you're not gonna bend the laws of nature. Like that's really the only laws that a witch really. I mean, you have to respect your local laws. Clearly, I'm not saying go out and be an asshole. You know,
be an asshole witch.
Go be an asshole. Yeah. But
I suppose it's interesting what you say there, because I think we all have an energy, and you know, it's the way you use that energy. And if you want something and you do it the right way, and you think, and also karma, helping other people, it tends to come back. So I think that's all sort of part of it, isn't it?
It is. Oh yeah, we experience magic in every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Oh, there's your little man there.
Yeah, he is.
Bless him. So the final thing, I suppose, is ghosts. You know, we talk about spirits and ghosts. I suppose that's a big thing. Is people think, oh, I don't believe in ghosts, but you don't believe in them if you've never seen one. But then if you have seen one or had some kind of something's happened, then you believe them, and there's always that.
But then nobody believes you.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, Tiffany.
So if I could get one thing really going, I tried to get this going on Facebook, but nobody wants to talk about it. paranormal experiences can cause you to have post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, I'm not a psychologist, but that shit, it's fucking scary. I know there's more than a few people out there who know what I'm talking about. It's fucking scary, especially if you are a very rational minded person and you've never dealt with this shit before.
Yeah.
You're the prime target, to be honest. Like, how are you going to talk to somebody? I'm afraid to go home. Well, why? What's the matter? Well, I think there's a demon in my house. Get the fuck out of here. Go home. You know? And people don't want to talk about the hauntings. So what happened to you? The first thing they shut down. I don't want to talk about it. I feel like if I talk about it, it's going to come back. It's going to come find me. I don't want it to come find me. I don't want it to come back. People are really fucking scared.
Yeah.
And I would love to see just a society where we're just more open about it, because that's one of the ways that these malevolent entities are able to dictate your life, is by isolating you, by making you feel like you're crazy, by gaslighting you. And if this sounds like people in real life, and all I have to say is shitty people tend to go on to become shitty ghosts. So, you know, if somebody feels evil or feels like a demon, and you know, then chances are that's their energy, you know?
Yeah. So you definitely think the way forward is to talk more about it.
Yes, talk more. Yes, normalize this. You don't even have to just like, oh, you have to believe everything I say. It should be enough to that you believe it. You know what I mean? Like, you believe that there's a malevolent entity that is just making your home an uncomfortable place to be, and you don't know what to do about it, and you just need some support. You know, just having somebody say, oh yeah, I'm going through the same thing right now, is enough. It's like anything else. Really.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Thank you.
I always ask my guests for advice, Tiffany. It can be advice you've had that you thought was great, or advice you'd want to give to someone who maybe is, you know, experiencing these kind of things that you talk about.
I am so glad you asked. There are so many pieces of advice. They feed on your emotions. Whoever needs to hear this, they feed on your emotions. If you can get your emotional response to them under control, you can get your power back. Another thing, they have to listen to you. You can't, but you have to mean it. They have to listen to you. If you tell them, stay out of this room, they have to stay out of that room. Okay. You just have to be confident in yourself, and you have got to learn to control your emotions. It's easier said than done. If somebody out there needs a short-term quick fix, my advice, instead of trying to fight off the deity, like you see in the movies with the Catholic priest, the Lord comes down, you don't want to fight them. You don't want to fight them. It's not really a battle you can win, especially if they're a land spirit and they're connected to that property. They're not fucking going anywhere, right? That's their land. What you want to try to do instead is neutralize them. So let's say you've got like your basement or somewhere feels like it's really heavy with bad energy. Take a bowl of vinegar, fill a bowl of vinegar, and stick it down there. That'll suck up all that negative energy. Don't burn sage. Sage hurts spirits, including your spirits. You don't want to chase off your spirit guide. Burning sage is the equivalent of dropping a roach bomb in your house.
Oh my God.
You hurt them. You hurt them. Yeah. Get Palo Santo instead, if you can. Get Palo
Santo. What's that?
Palo Santo is a South American tree. It's actually endangered. So they can only sell bits that have fallen to the ground. Right. But it is a South American tree that it's renowned for its magical properties. The beautiful thing about burning a bit of Palo Santo is that it literally changes the vibration in the house.
Right. Okay.
It raises the vibration. So it's either raise up with us or get the fuck out. Because there's literally no room for you. Yeah. So another final piece of advice, would be get used to them. You don't have to put up with their malevolent behavior. If they're fucking with you, you can fuck with them back. I'm giving you some tips on how to do that, hopefully.
But don't be scared and let them have control then, basically.
Exactly. Don't let them push you out of your room or push you out or anything like that. Like, be brave. Be brave. You're always going to be scared. That's okay. But be brave. That's then you're not a feast anymore. You don't want to make yourself a feast for them. But also a little bit of get comfortable with the notion that spirits are everywhere. Every house is a haunted house. They're everywhere. And sometimes
because it's history, isn't it? It's the memories and history and of everything.
Exactly. And the native cultures, like, that's not just the stuff of movies. Like, those are ancient spirits that they don't like some of us, and they're not gonna. But also try to just get comfortable with the fact that, their spirits are everywhere, and comfortable with the fact that maybe this just getting this spirit to be good to you is enough. Just get them to be good to you. Come to an understanding, because they might not always. I pissed a spirit off one time. I tried to push him through a portal. I opened a portal to heaven and I tried to push his ass through. Jesus. He did not fucking like that. Oh no, he jumped my anxiety up, and he did not. He was very heavy for a long time. So sometimes they don't want to move on. Like, sometimes it's just enough to come to an understanding. Okay, you be good to me.
Yeah. And I think that's really good what you say there is I think we shouldn't be scared. We should embrace them because they are everywhere, and whether you believe it or not, we have history, people have died, we'll move on, so it's something we need to embrace. And maybe that'll happen in the future when we talk about it more and people like you come on the show and share experiences, or maybe we'll just carry on for another 200 years and it will still be a subject where it's I don't really but they'll always, but who wants this to be, we don't want it everywhere anyway. I think it's quite nice that you've got your way of living, your way of thinking. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Thinking. Yeah, my way of thinking. Now, I always ask my guests for a favourite, Tiffany. So it can be a book, it can be a film, TV show, whatever you want. You can have a couple if you want. What favourite have you got? Oh, we've got a book. Oh, right, okay. Greenmore for the Green Witch. Go on then, tell us about that.
This book has become basically my Bible.
Right.
It really has. It's got everything in it that you would need. It's a very good reference. So I'll flip to the back. You've got like runes, any number of spells, any number of tarot layouts. Towards the front of the book, if you're interested in maybe like more of the spiritual stuff, there's discussions of like how divinity is seen. It is called the Green Witch Grimoire. So it has the stuff you're going to learn in here is going to be a little more focused on plants and Mother Nature and that kind of thing. Yeah. Somebody who works with ghosts and spirits, that's really important. Yeah. You got to stay grounded. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I turn to it for absolutely everything. If someone was seriously thinking about,
getting into it, that is sort of a book you can pick up and sort of give you ideas and talk you through things. Like is it like the Witch's Bible, so to speak? Is that?
No, there actually is a Witch's Bible out there written by Jan and Stuart Farrar. Farrar. Yeah. They actually wrote that one back in like the 50s. This is okay. So this is more like if you have maybe a little bit of knowledge, if you're just starting out from the beginning, like beginning, I would recommend Scott Cunningham's Living Wicca.
Right. Okay. Right.
I mean, that's for the Wiccan tradition. Most witches who get started do tend to learn about the Wiccan tradition first, and then they branch out.
Right, I see.
But not every witch is a Wiccan, and not everyone's going to like that. You know, maybe you're a Satanist witch, in which case, get the Satanic Bible.
That's my wife. She's a Satanist.
Is she? Yeah. Hell yeah. Hail.
Now, actually, that interests me. What's your favourite film? Are you into ghost films, or are you into... Because it always surprised me. What sort of films are you into?
Documentaries.
Oh, do you? Have you watched any
I love true crime.
Yeah. Watched any good ones recently?
Well, I'm also a YouTube junkie. I got to be honest with you. I'm a true crime YouTube junkie. So I'm watching the likes of, Bailey Sarian. I'm watching the likes of, oh God, of course. My mind's going to go blank.
Yeah. But documentaries, there's a hell of a lot of good ones on Netflix.
I know. Yes, there are. I'm trying to think of a good, what's the best true crime documentary I've seen lately? Probably The Staircase.
Yeah, that was proper messed up, weren't it?
Oh, yeah.
It could have been an owl. It weren't an owl.
Her hair.
Yeah.
No, my guy.
It was his golf club, you idiots.
Yeah, but The Staircase, if you've got the stomach for it, because it involves children, and it's very graphic, if you've got the stomach for it, Paradise Lost.
Yeah, that is amazing, isn't it? Wow.
Yes.
It's phenomenal. I've just been watching. We've got Making a Murderer over here as well. Have you watched that?
I've watched bits of it. I wasn't able to get into it. Yeah. Maybe I should give it a second try.
Give it a second try. Give it a
second
try. It gets better.
Isn't it about a guy who gets framed? He's getting framed, right?
He's getting. Well, as you go through the documentary, thinking, is he getting framed? And then you're at the end of the documentary, think, fuck me, he's been framed. And and some of these cops, I mean, I suppose we get it over here, but there's a lot of documentaries, and you've got a lot more different states and different police over there. Yep. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of any police over there.
No, unfortunately, no, you don't. I mean, if I'm being honest, you're the right color, if I may be so bold, so you might have a little better chance, you know?
Yeah, it's mad at the minute, yeah.
That's real. That shit's for real.
Your little man's there. What's his name?
That's Dakota.
Dakota. Hello, Dakota.
Did they say hi?
Hi. Oh, bless him.
Oh, one last documentary, too. It's not murder, but if you can get your hands on it, it's called Stevie. Have you heard of Stevie?
Right. No, I haven't heard of that. I'll write that down.
Yeah, look up Stevie. It's this documentary about this guy. It's another documentary trigger. Duh. This one's pedophilia though. This guy is so it's a pedophilia one. So trigger there. But it's a story about this guy named Stevie. He's mentally disabled, and the filmmaker was like, I guess he worked with him or something a while ago when he was a kid, and he goes back and turns out Stevie has...
Don't tell us.
Not been such a good boy.
Don't tell us.
Oh, I'm not.
Well, look, it's been an absolute joy having you on, Tiffany. I'm so glad we got connected.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't think I was going to be able to get on. I'm like, where's the link? Oh, my God.
No, it's fine. You've been absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to see what you get up to next. So make sure you stay in touch, and we'll have to get you on next year and get some more of those stories, because we could just be on for hours and hours.
Yeah, I've got a lot.
Oh, I can imagine. But no, it's been an absolute joy speaking to you. So make sure to look after yourself, and I'll speak to you soon. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Tiffany.
We're wrapping it up.
Look after yourself. Bye, Dakota.
Bye.
So that's a massive thanks again to Tiffany for joining me today, and also for you listening. Make sure you follow the podcast, because coming up over the next month, there are even some more extraordinary interviews just like this one with the brilliant Tiffany. It's streaming, the podcast streams on all the usual platforms, iTunes, Spotify. Also, if you want to watch this beautiful beard, I was saying my beard. Maybe I should shave it. Oh no, it looks terrible. I'm not shaving it. I look like a pool ball with my bald head. Anyway, leave a rating and subscribe if you can, please. It means the world. Okay. If you do want to get in touch, you can email me, mwotpodcast@aol.com. Make sure you subscribe. Got some amazing interviews coming up this year. Trust me. Until next time, God bless. Take care. Bye.